Welcome back to Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. This one is entitled Hunting for Open Windows. A bit of a convoluted title, so I'm going to explain, and then there's a bit more to the story. It's not really that much about open windows as much as it is the person involved. This harks back to my days in sales at Tiny Middle. We're going to say a good 2005. Say a good 2005. Somewhere in there, they hired a new person for the department that I was in, the peripherals department. And he thought he was king shit. But he had a faggoty lisp. His name was Rob Hunt. Rob Cunt. You know it. I mean, that's just too easy. You have to. And, you know, he'd just talk about, oh, so you need a motherboard? Okay, what kind of processor you want? A Prescott? And he would use buzzwords like a Prescott processor was an Intel processor back in these days. That was like the Intel code name or code word for it. And I understand that a lot of people who were coming in to build a computer, except for the fucking dicks I got, were of the type where they might know these buzzwords. But I found that in general, the American public is fucking retarded. Because they'll come in and they say, I'm looking for this printer. I'm sorry, I'm out of stock on it. Well, you have anything compatible with it? Compatible with the printer. No, that would have to do with your computer, really. Comparable, you mean? Yeah, compatible. Okay, Dell Dementia all over again. Anyways, so Rob Cunt was there. Now, at the time, we still had old shit because we were a computer store. Why would you have good new computers at a computer store? I mean, we only sell the fucking things. So way back in the day, we're going, and we had an old beige box that ran Windows 98. Yeah, it was still around. Yes, I hear the siren in the background. Stuff it, shove it, and forget about it. Anyway, Windows 98 on a beige box machine, and what was there to display but a CRT screen. Of course, what else? Now, this was all no-name shit. It might have been like a KDS brand monitor. I don't remember. It doesn't make a difference. It was there. It was enough for you to see the POS screen and a web page. Get the idea across. We weren't looking for .24 dot pitch and all the other buzzwords and shit like that. This monitor, this started, I guess, before I had started there. Somebody came across a case badge for a Pentium 4 processor or an AMD processor or a Corsair badge like Corsair Memory and Gigabyte, and they would start sticking these to the monitor. So just like you would have on a computer where you would tactfully put your, Intel Inside sticker and your AMD sticker and your ATI graphics, which is now AMD, all that stuff, It started out that way, and then I just kept stickering more and more stuff. So we had badges all over this thing. And then we started with other stickers, our sales stickers that we had. So we would put stickers up there of people who worked in that department. Whenever we'd find one of their stickers, oh, do we have John Smith up there? We don't? Put that right on there, and typically John Smith's sticker was one that you would peel off of a product that didn't sell, and that's how that went. Anyway, Rob Cunt would go to the system, and he would look something up for a customer, and he would have to open up a new window and go to our intranet or maybe even search something on the web, whatever it was to find the right information. We would look up memory and stuff, go to Kingston.com or something. They had a memory lookup, for example, whatever it was. And then he'd say, okay, you need DDR2 memory. We have, how much you want? 512? 1 gig, 1 gig. Okay, yeah, we got these on sale over here. And he'd just walk over and hand the product to the customer. Nothing wrong with any of that. Then later, I'd have a customer, hey, looking for memory. Okay, great. Let me look up, see what kind of memory your machine takes. You have the model number? Yes, I do, sir. And, a real customer now who knows what they have. Great, right over here. And there's the window that Rob Cunt left open. You can leave a window open, that's all right. But when you go for each customer and open a new window and you're not going to look at the old ones, there were 13 fucking windows open on a Pentium 4 machine, maybe, that was running Windows 98 and Internet Explorer 5 or 6. Wasn't too happy with that many windows open, especially for stuff, and I know the web was a lot simpler 15, 16 years ago than it is today. But even so, that's a lot of resources you're putting on the damn machine, and he just refused to close any fucking window. So then I'd be selling a printer for a while, I'd come back, somebody needs memory, and 13 fucking windows. Close this one, close this one, close this one, close this one. And they weren't tabs. Nowadays we have tabbed browsing. There were no tabs in these days. You had windows on the taskbar there, and you had... if you've ever opened enough programs, in the old days, Windows 98, the little thing would get smaller and smaller and smaller. Just like if you have a bunch of tabs open, the tabs get smaller so it could fit all the different ones there. And if you've ever opened, 10, 12 windows in a row, them tabs are this big, just enough that you can click the X, not so much that you can even see what the hell they are. So that was that fun. But Rob, and there's a lot that I wrote down here. Okay, yeah, the next one was this. So another one with Rob was, he would always say, but oh yeah, I went out with this girl last night, and it was like really great. We went to like Starbucks, and we got like a couple of lattes, and then we like sat there in Starbucks, and it was like really nice. He wasn't gay, obviously, but anyways. I said, he was telling me this, and I'm like, and the store was open at the time. He was telling me this, and I said, you see, Rob, that's the difference. That's your idea of a good night. My idea of a good night is sitting on a front porch, drinking beer with no shirt on. God is my witness, some guy in the next aisle popped his head over and said, ain't nothing wrong with that. So that was a little fun one. And then, let's see what else. Right, we got that. Oh, so we would, it was him, myself, and another guy who used to close on Mondays. We would close the store. Now, closing the store, I've probably explained this a few times before in the past in old war stories, but the store would close at 9 p.m. We wouldn't get out of there till maybe 11. We had to straighten up all the shelves and get everything look nicey nice for the next day so the customers can fuck it all up again. Now, looking back, I understand this to a degree, because if the place is merchandised like shit, then it's not going to make for a very nice and enticing shopping experience for the next shopper. But then again, does it have to be picture perfect every single day? I understand that some days are going to be better, some days are going to be worse, like a Wednesday isn't going to be as bad as a Saturday. But even so, does it have to be absolutely picture perfect? And they're getting the white gloves out and testing for dust and shit just to keep us there longer. It was just a total pain in the ass. But anyway, Rob, myself, and the other guy, we would have fun. And the other guy once said something that was really fucking funny, because here was Rob again talking about going out to a club. And okay, so I'm sitting there with this girl, right? And we had like 3 shots of Jaeger, followed by like a shot of this and a shot of that, and then we got like some beer for a while, and it was like we were like totally rip roaring drunk, man. In fact, I have a picture on my phone, and he'd show that and whatever. And he walked away, and I said to the other guy, I said, "Did you hear all that shit about the club and that?" He said, "Yeah, he's telling you about all the drinks and stuff he had." He said, "You know what that really means? It really means that he ended up having 2 beers that night, of which he spilled half of one on his shoes." What a great line. This guy, Rob Cunt, was just a fucking mess. No idea what happened to him. He left. Oh, there was one other thing with him. He started out as a cashier. And because he's just a dick, and was always a dick, in fact, there's 2 other things with him. One was because he was such a dick like that, when he was a cashier, we still had, for credit cards, we still had the old swipe thing on the machine. So the customer would hand you their credit card, you'd swipe it, and then there was a pad that you would sign. If you remember, it was like this little gray thing, and they have it now with the screen, but it used to just have this gray, it looked like a touchpad on a laptop, and there was a little stylus thing on a wire, and you would sign on that, and you wouldn't even know what it would look like. And then it would come up on the screen, and he would have to look at that and compare the signature to the back of the card. Now that's a whole different can of worms there, because some people don't sign the back of their card, others say ask for ID, all kinds of different things like that. Well, anyways, Rob, because he was a dick and didn't care, would swipe the card and hand it right back to the customer. This was the kind of thing we used to do back in the day at the Wiz. The Wiz was so corrupt, honestly, it didn't really matter. Nobody checked signatures and shit there. But anyway, he was supposed to check that, and they had caught him not checking signatures. And they took him in the office, and they said that he was caught not checking signatures, and it's not like you forget one, it's just he didn't do it for his entire shift. And they caught him, and brought him in the office and told him, and they were going to write him up, maybe even fire him, I don't know, because there could have been a lot of fraud involved, and the store might have lost a lot of money. And they said, "Why are you not checking signatures?" And he says, "I have a photographic memory." A photographic memory. Well, in that case, what we're going to have to do is prove that. So we're going to have to do some research and get somebody in here to test you for that and make sure that indeed you do have a photographic memory. So he said, "Well, if you're going to test me, you have to test everybody else in the store." And they kind of dropped it. I guess they thought about, maybe he's right. I don't think he was. But it would certainly cost a lot more to test the entire store than it would for one person. So that was that. And I'll leave you off on a sort of funny note. Once again, in sales, me, him, and the other guy, or him, the other guy, and I, if you want to be proper, were there, and we were closing the store as usual, and Rob was walking past me, had a couple of products in his hand that were in a shopping cart that didn't end up selling, and he's going to run them off, put them on the shelf over there, and as we were walking by, he just made the most scrunched up fucking face and farted. And it was hilarious just to see this scrunched up fart face. It was just great. So that was the one good thing I could remember about Rob Cunt. Otherwise, he was a pussy. I mean, he was a dick. Har, har, har. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this episode of Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.